Hey everyone, and welcome to In the Parent Seat, the podcast where we dive into various topics that are all centered around parenting, especially for moms, since clearly I'm a mom. If you're a parent, guardian, or anyone who cares about the next generation, this is the podcast for you. And please hit me up with a subscription. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm AC, and today we're talking about ways to limit electronics for children, setting boundaries around technology, and yes, how to be intentional about what your child watches on TV. Before we get started, I want to ask you, have you ever felt overwhelmed by screen time at home? Maybe your child seems glued to their tablet or phone, or perhaps you caught them watching something you wish they hadn't. Don't worry, you're not alone. And today we got tips and tricks to get back on track.
Are you having issues with tech use in
Let's
your
start with the
home?
basics, limiting screen time. It's all too easy for children to get lost in their phones, tablets, or gaming systems, especially with so many apps and games designed to keep them engaged. But too much screen time can lead to issues like poor sleep, lack of focus, and even physical problems like eye strain. So, how do we limit it without causing an all out scene? Think about your own screen time habits for a second. How often do you find yourself on your phone when you should be doing something else? Go ahead, I'll give you a minute to reflect. Now, here's the thing, if we as parents don't model healthy habits, it's going to be hard for our kids to follow suit. So, start by setting a shared family screen time rule, something that works for everyone. Here's an idea. Set screen free zones in your home, like during family meals or 1 hour before bed. You'd be amazed how many more meaningful your conversations can be when everyone isn't distracted by their devices. I bet you have at least one family dinner where you wish everyone would just look up from their phones. Anyone else? Now let's talk about boundaries. Technology needs limits, especially when kids are involved. One great strategy is to set clear screen time schedule. Think about it. Kids thrive on routine, and tech time doesn't have to be a free for all. Go ahead, grab a piece of paper, or open up a note in your phone. What does your child's typical tech time look like? How much time do they spend playing games, watching videos, or chatting with friends? Now, try this. Create a schedule that includes specific blocks of time for technology use and make sure it's balanced with time for different activities such as reading, sports, or outdoor play. It's all about balance. One tip I always recommend is using a screen time tracking app. There are so many available that let you monitor how long your child spends on different apps and even set time limits. This helps them stay accountable, and honestly, it helps you too. You'll get a sense of whether it's time to hit pause or increase that offline time. But here's the thing, boundaries are only effective if you're consistent with them. The hardest part is sticking to them, especially when your kids give you those puppy dog eyes or tell you everyone else is allowed to do it. But remember, you're the parent. You get to set the rules. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the content your kids are consuming. With endless options on streaming platforms, it can feel like an impossible task to keep track of what your child is watching. But it's critical to be intentional about their screen time content. I want you to think for a second. What's the last thing your child watched on TV? Did it feel appropriate? How did it make you feel afterwards? If you're unsure, it's a good idea to make time and sit down and watch some shows or movies with them. Just like you used to do when you were younger. Trust me, it could be fun and you'll know exactly what's going into their brain. When choosing shows or apps for your kids, look for content with positive messages and age appropriate themes. The internet can be a wild place, but you have the power to curate what they're supposed to. Check out things like parental controls on platforms like Netflix or Disney Plus, which allow you to set age ratings and even block certain content. It's a simple step that assures your child isn't stumbling onto something they shouldn't. Another great tip, if you can't find a good show, create a list of go to favorites together with your kids. Make it a fun family activity, and when they're feeling bored, they'll have options that you've already approved. All right, friends, now it's your turn. I challenge you to set one new boundary around tech this week, whether it's limiting screen time, setting a tech free zone, or even watching a show with your kids to make sure it's a good fit. Drop a comment below letting me know what you think about today's episode and what you would like the next episode to be about. Your feedback helps my podcast grow and improve. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and keep building those healthy tech boundaries. See you on the next episode of In the Parent Seat.